Beach Haven Borough Council meeting to order on Monday, February 9th, 2015. And Mr. Cactus, will you please lead the flag salute today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the entrance hall of the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mr. Cactus.
Here.
Mr. Keeler. Mr. Maskell.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Here. Mrs. Mason, would you please read resolutions number 37, 2015, honoring the service of the law enforcement officers in full.
Whereas recent events throughout our nation have unfortunately demonstrated a reckless disregard for the lives and safety of law enforcement officers by many, including some public officials, who have cavalierly aligned themselves with career criminals and agitators who seek to divide our nation. And whereas, even worse, much of the news media, along with certain public officials and other public figures, have perpetuated false narratives that have made law enforcement officers direct targets of reprisals that have resulted in the assassination of a number of law enforcement officers throughout the country in recent weeks. And whereas, from combating terror and staking out criminals to patrolling our highways, law enforcement officers maintain stability in our communities, resulting in a more secure nation. And whereas law enforcement officers in this state and throughout the nation are routinely called upon to serve and protect their fellow citizens by responding to horrendous events and acting heroically to save the lives of others. And whereas it is incumbent upon public officials and the laws-abiding public to proactively support our law enforcement officers who regularly face threats of violence and danger and routinely put their lives in jeopardy to defend others, potentially resulting in injury, disability, or even death to keep our neighborhoods safe, enforce the rule of law, protect our property, and respond in times of crisis. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, that they declare their support and solidarity with the men and women who serve as law enforcement officers for their distinctive service and dedicated efforts, earning our highest respect and deepest gratitude, which must be recognized and honored for their selfless and heroic service and invaluable contributions to upholding justice, enforcing the rule of law, and protecting the innocent in the Borough of Beach Haven, the State of New Jersey, and in this nation. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to the Governor, the state legislators representing the Borough of Beach Haven, and the Board of Chosen Freeholders in the County of Ocean.
May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cactus?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Chief Kohler, would you come up to accept the resolution, and Councilman White will present.
I'd like all the officers to come up, please. Chief Kohler to accept it on their behalf. Oh, I'm not The words were very gratifying. They said a lot. On behalf of the mayor and the rest of the council, we want to tell you all that this is not just some words that were put together. It's something from the bottom of our heart. We really feel that you do a great job for our town. We know even in above law enforcement, there's many things that you do for us, and we want to say thank you, and we want to do it publicly, and that's the idea of the resolution. So thank you all for the great job you do for us every single day and night. Thank you, Chief, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Rich, would you please present the manager's report?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Begin with the treasurer's report for the month of January 2015. Cash receipts in the current fund account as for this period, January 1st to January 31st, were $1,828,710.96. The cash balance in the current fund as of this period totaled $8,793,558.57. And the cash balance in the water utility account as of January 31st, 2015 was $1,617,434.35, submitted by our treasurer, Shari Bolden. Moving on to department reports. Just when we think we were getting a little caught up with things, we received something from the Ocean County Board of Taxation at the very end of the year, ordering us to do a complete revaluation of properties. This was, I would have to say, a little unexpected. The notice went on to say they would like this revaluation completed by November 1st of this year, 2015, so that the new values can be put in effect for the tax year 2016. The order is based on the fact that our ratio of assessed value to true value has slipped to 83.57%. Our last revaluation, for those who may have forgotten, was conducted back in the year 2004. To do this, it requires us to go and hire an outside firm to come in, because it is a very labor-intensive process. They do have to visit every property within the borough. They'll be under the direction of our tax assessor. Again, our ordinance, we introduced an ordinance this past Wednesday because time is of the essence. We have to get this process moving. At our February 4th agenda meeting, basically authorizing an emergency appropriation for the amount of $200,000 to pay for this project. So we will have more details once an award is given and we start to put together a timetable, but I would expect you probably will see folks out and about this community come mid-spring through the summer during the reevaluation process. Moving on, moving on to this, however, Superstorm Sandy, though it is well over 2 years old, continues to be pretty much an everyday project for us here. We will have a resolution on this evening extending the contract, which is executing a task order to extend the contract with our consultant we've been using, Lewis Berger Group. We're making slow but steady progress. We have relied heavily on this consultant to assist us in working to obtain the maximum reimbursement from both the FEMA as well as our insurance carrier for all of our damages incurred post-Sandy. A couple of reminders this evening. We have our annual turkey dinner, Fireman's Turkey Dinner, this coming Saturday, the 15th. Encourage everybody to attend that. And, I'm sorry, the 14th, I didn't change the date. And our municipal offices will be closed this coming Friday, February 13th, to honor President Lincoln. And we will also be closed the following Monday for the federal holiday, which is President's Day. That's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Okay, Mrs. Mason, would you please present the meeting minutes for approval without formal reading?
I have an agenda meeting of January 7th, 2015, a regular meeting of January 12th, 2015, an agenda meeting of January 21st, 2015, and finally a special meeting of January 29th, 2015.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Mason, please read the title and purpose statements for each of the ordinances for this evening. And I want to remind everybody that that ordinances 1C through 10C are for final adoption tonight. They've already been read once. I will ask for public comments after the title has been announced, and at that time, any member of the public who wishes to address the ordinance may come to the microphone, state their name and address, and they can speak. And this will be done for all 10 ordinances.
Ordinance 2015 1C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, pertaining to Chapter 176, Streets and Sidewalks, Purpose of this ordinance is to require the installation of curbs and sidewalks throughout the Borough of Beach Haven under certain circumstances. Final reading.
Are there any public comments on the sidewalk ordinance? If there's no public comments, may I have a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015 2C, an ordinance amending Section 204 of the Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to eliminate standby or service charges for unimproved lots within the borough for which a water meter has been installed.
Okay, at this time, are there any public comments relating to the water meter ordinance? Well, in that case, if there's no public comments, may I have a motion for approval and a second?
Motion to accept 2015 2C?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015 3C, an ordinance amending Chapter 212 of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to permit private garages as an accessory use for residential properties. The purpose of this ordinance is to permit private garages as an accessory use with certain requirements for all residential properties located in the borough. Final reading.
Is there anybody that would like to speak to this ordinance? If there's not, is somebody going to?
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. I make a motion to delay approval of this ordinance till next month. The land use board has requested that we further review the ordinance and the detail of it. And we're giving them an addition, they've asked for an additional month, so we're requesting delay this till March.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Who's my second?
Sure. Well, I don't know, we had two seconds.
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
So this has been tabled to the March regular meeting.
Yes.
Ordinance 2015 4C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Chapter 212 20J pertains to tents or temporary structures. The purpose of this ordinance is to regulate the use of tents or temporary structures in the Borough of Beach Haven. Final reading.
And at this time, I open the floor for public comment. If anybody would like to speak on this, please come to the microphone, state your name and your address.
Bob Schlabach, 122 Second Street in Beach Haven. We missed the meeting last month. I hesitate to say we were in Florida, but it was a lot warmer than it is here. I was gratified to see that you changed the permitting to 8 for the coming year. Not so much to see that we're looking at 4 for 2016. And I just wish to express my hope that the council may reconsider, reevaluate that number for 2016 based on the experiences in 2015. I know some of the problems that occurred in 2014. I'm sure they won't be reoccur in 2015 given the experience that we've had. And I just hope that the board will remain open to revisit this subject down the road.
Thank you for your comment.
Thanks, Bob.
Anybody else? Nobody else for public comment? Then may I have a motion to approve this ordinance 4C?
Motion to approve 4C?
Second?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015 5C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Chapter 134 pertains to noise. The purpose of this ordinance is to simplify the existing noise ordinance. Final reading.
Again, I open the floor for public comments on ordinance 5C. Is there anybody that would like to come to the microphone? No? In that case, may I have a motion to approve and a motion to second?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015 6C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, As the same in Chapter 155 pertains to seasonal rental dwellings, the purpose of this ordinance is to update the borough's existing ordinance to more closely mirror the enabling statute, NJSA 40:48-2.12N through 2.12Q. Final reading.
And again, at this time, does anybody want to come to the microphone and make a comment regarding ordinance 6C? No? All right, in that case,
Motion to approve 2015-6C?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
yes.
Ordinance 2015-7C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 174 as it pertains to special events and block parties. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend sections within Chapter 174 as it pertains to special events and block parties held in the Borough of Beach Haven, and to include bonfire events under this chapter. Final reading.
And again, would anybody like to come and speak to this ordinance? Okay, in that case, could we have a vote?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-8C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Section 55-3, possession of food and beverage prohibited, permits for beach parties. The purpose of this ordinance is to remove the subsections that pertain to permitting for beach parties. Final reading.
Again, would anybody like to speak to the beach party ordinance? Okay, could I have a motion to approve in
Motion
second?
to approve 2015-8C?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-9C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Section 212-17 deals with fences. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend the fence ordinance for all residential properties located in the borough. Final reading.
Again, this is open for public comment. Would anybody like to speak to this? In that case, could I have a motion for approval and second?
Approval 2015-9C?
Second?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-10C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as it pertains to Chapter 120 licenses. The purpose of this ordinance is to add Article 3 to Chapter 120 licenses in order to regulate the sale of scrap metals, precious metals, and other secondhand goods as requested by the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office. Final reading.
Is there anybody that would like to speak to this ordinance? In that case, could I have a motion for approval and second?
Motion to approve 2015-10C?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. And the following ordinances are first readings.
Ordinance 2015-11C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Chapter 144, regards to peddling and soliciting. The purpose of this ordinance is to allow for the use of a relief driver for individuals who obtain a veteran's peddling license. First reading.
Motion to approve?
Motion to second? Do I have a second?
Second?
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-12C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in Chapter 1, Section 16, regards to general penalty provisions. The purpose of this ordinance is to update the borough's fees for general penalties. First reading.
Motion to approve and second?
Second?
No, first.
No,
I need a
approve.
first approval.
I thought you-
Motion to approve?
Okay. Motion to second?
Second?
Okay.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Finally, ordinance 2015-13 is the 2015 salary ordinance. First reading.
Do I have a motion for approval and second?
There you go.
Motion to approve?
Second.
13.
Thank you. Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
All matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 25, returning park bonds. Resolution 26, returning piling bonds. 27, reappointing Lauren LaCory as Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics. Resolution 28, authorizing the Borough of Beach Haven to advertise for bids for ice cream vendors. 29, acknowledging managerial appointment to the Library Board. 30, establishing the 2015 sidewalk sale dates. 32, approving ABC caterers permits for 116 Northwest Avenue. 33, approving raffle applications 1 and 2. 34, returning dumpster bonds. 35, updating the Emergency Management Council. 36, supporting Assembly Bill A2704, the New Jersey Stolen Valor Act. 39, approving application for social affairs permit for Jetty Rock Foundation. 40, executing an agreement with Ocean County for the 2015 Schedule C. 41, executing an agreement with Long Beach Township for dispatch services. 42, executing an agreement with LogTech for electronic recycling services. 43, returning performance bonds and remaining escrow balances. 44 is budget transfers. 45, an emergency temporary appropriations. 46, executing a task order with Lewis Berger Group for continued public assistance. 47, executing an employment contract with Christopher Carson, DPW Supervisor. 48, executing an employment contract with George Gilbert, DPW Superintendent. 49, executing an employment contract with Kevin Kohler, Chief of Police. 50 is executing an agreement with Hogpenny Studios. 51 is refunding taxes paid. And finally, 52, canceling water charges.
Would any member of council like to remove any of the resolutions within the consent agenda for separate consideration?
Not aye.
No.
No? Okay, may I have a motion to approve all these resolutions?
Motion to approve resolutions.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Mr. Cactus?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $3,096,272.61.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills list as presented?
Motion to approve the bills as presented.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Cactus?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. So now at this time, we're opening the floor to any member in the public who would like to speak on any topic. And is there anybody there that would like to get up and speak? Yes, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Good evening, I'm Ben Haygood with the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. I'm not a resident of Beach Haven, so I can say my address if I need to still, is that correct?
No.
No,
This
okay.
is the group that you're with.
Right, Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. We are contracted by the state to put out information about the 2 new Sandy programs. So I'm here just to state for the record what the 2 new programs are and answer any questions that anyone might have, and I can stay afterwards if I need to. But just for the record, there are 2 new programs from the DCA and the state that are available for people affected by Hurricane Sandy. The first for homeowners is called the Low to Moderate Income Homeowners Rebuilding Program, or LMI, Homeowners Building Program. It's similar to the REM program that you're aware of, but it's for low to moderate income. There's income caps. And the second for renters, although homeowners are eligible for this one as well, is called the TBRA, or the Tenant-Based Rental Assistance Program. And that is going to be a lottery from all the 9 affected counties, and you can receive rental assistance for up to 2 years. It's renewable from 1 year and then another year. Again, that's for renters, and there's one for homeowners. Both of these programs you can apply online at renewjerseystronger.org, which is the same website used for the other programs. And I can answer any further questions if anyone has any.
Are there any questions regarding this program? Can you tell us what the cap is? The cap,
I should know that off the top of my head, and I apologize, but I can get it for you if you would like, and I can email it to you. I believe it's $62,000 for a family of 4 but don't quote me on that, and I will get you an exact number. But I believe that's correct. I know Monmouth is 69, and I think it's 62 in Ocean, but I'm not sure.
And when-
How is it funded? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How is it funded?
This is all CDBG DR funding from HUD, the same as the RIM program and the same as a lot of the other funding from Sandy, the 3 tranches that you hear
You
so
know
much
how much
about.
is in the fund for this?
I know it's $40 million for the LMI homeowners rebuilding program, and I don't think there is an exact amount dedicated for the TBRA because it's 1,400, and they've committed to 1,400 for 1 year's worth of rent, extendable to 2, and it's based upon your income, and you pay 30% of your income. So I don't think they know the exact amount of the pot in that one, but again, I can research that and get an answer for that one as well.
The application will be made by individuals, right?
Yes, correct, sir.
Now, is there assistance, and how would people get assistance in filling out those applications?
Yes, sir, there is, and I can be one of them as well, and the clerk has my information, and I can make sure that you have that. You can always reach out to me, but the official answer is they're going to go to one of the official state housing counseling agencies, which for, again, I apologize, I should know this directly, but for Ocean, it's Ocean Inc., that's correct. So they can go to Ocean Inc. and they can apply. They have internet online, and they have housing counselors that are on site to help you go through the process. But again, you can do this directly online yourself, or you can call me directly and I will help.
Do they have a lot of people in that?
Not really. I've heard it's light so far.
Because the last one that we had was, it was a great program, obviously, to help people, but it turned out to be a horror. It was, just to get the first appointment was almost 4 months.
Yes, sir. I've been dealing with it since the storm. I'm very well aware of how much of a heartache it's been.
Who's administering it?
Which one? These programs?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. So originally, it was contracted by the DCA, right? They used multiple contracting agencies, HGI, ICF, some of which have been let go or fired at this point. And some of the processes have been taken over by other contracting agencies. Some of the processes have been taken over. Yes, sir. Some of them also have been taken over by DCA employees. And so it's really hard to tell at this point, and I'm not even sure if they would give you a direct answer as to whether it's being staffed by a contractor or a DCA employee or some combination thereof. But these are all going to be run out of the same offices, the housing recovery centers that each county has. Does that answer your question?
Well,
As much
just
as I can.
like the same question that we've been having since
Right.
the storm. Nobody really
Right.
knows the answers.
Well, what about you say that the rental program is done by lottery?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that mean that people actually, they write a request for aid and then it's just thrown into a pot and somebody picks it out? I mean, there's no kind of determination of who needs it the most?
There will be a slight prioritization of need. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it. They're being very vague about it for a lot of reasons, I think. But they are going to, it's going to be prioritized towards residents that were directly affected or displaced by Sandy. Okay, now to go further along that, the reason why there will be that prioritization, I do think they're going to probably, like I said, the applications have been light to this point. So I really sincerely think that unless there's been a lot more over this next few weeks, and again, these programs, the deadline to close is March the 4th. But again, unless there's a lot more, I think that all those people that were affected or displaced will in fact get the TBRA, but yet what they do is it is put into a lottery where 1,400 people are picked, and you don't have to have a FEMA number. You don't even actually literally have to be affected by the storm. You just have to have resided in one of the 9 affected counties at the time of the storm.
Wow.
Did you say when did you say the closing is?
March the 4th, yes, sir. Both the LMI rebuilding program, I know it's a tight window. We argued very vehemently against this, but yet it is March the 4th.
So the applications have to be in, but they'll be serviced for whatever time it takes to go through all the applications.
Correct, and I've got, actually, that question is actually out to the DCA as we speak about what I'm supposed to be telling people about how long it's going to take for them to be contacted. As you referenced the RIM program I think you were referring to earlier, it might take weeks to months before they're even reached out to. But I do think that they are getting better in this process as we go along. So this should run a little bit smoother than the RIM program, I hope.
How much publicity are you doing to let people know about this?
Well, I'm the answer to a lot of that. I'm covering Ocean, Atlantic, and Cape May. But I mean, these are you've seen these around at some places. I don't know. I mean, some you'll see some things in like some advertising on the radio, some advertising in movie theaters, etc. like that. There's quite a bit, but
And there are places that people can be assisted.
at the housing counseling agency specifically. So Ocean Inc. is your housing counseling agency.
If I could ask, if you could talk to Ms. Mason or Ms. LaCory, the deputy,
give them your information, find out the answers to some of these questions so we can put it on the website.
It's
It'll
already
be a lot
up.
easier to read down, is that
It's up.
possible?
The other thing is, Coastal Volunteers in Medicine are dealing with patients, 365 patients which are very poor and they're in Barnegat. Can I make arrangements for you to go meet with them? Because these are people that.
Yes, yes, sir, I would love to,
They
yes.
fall within the category of this, and I'm sure they
Yes.
provide a lot of social services as well as medical services. And these are people who are below the salary level, and so I'd like to get your card and see if
Yes,
it
sir.
says something up for Thursday.
Just leave your card right now, if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
there
you
any
for bringing
more?
it to our attention.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Do we have anybody else that wants to ask a question, or
Where do we do it afterwards?
would anybody else like to come to the microphone and speak?
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ann Smith, 204 2nd Street here in Beach Haven. I'm just curious what's happening with the beach replenishment issue.
Well, we did have a conference call, and with the DPA and the Army Corps, and the only thing we can really tell you is that they haven't signed contracts, and the work is to be completed by April 16th, 2016, which is much faster than we initially thought, because they are basically, they have more equipment, more barges. They are going to start in Loveladies at the north end of the island and work south, which makes a lot of sense because that's the way the sand moves. Basically, the nice thing for Beach Haven is we will not have this happening during this coming summer, but the project should be done before the following summer. If they don't finish by April 16, 2016, then the company has to start paying penalty fees. So it is really moving ahead, and so it's exciting. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good news.
While we're on that, if you could, Nancy, I know this is dear to you, for the work you've done. The meeting we had the other day, that the dune planting, even though the Army Corps is going to do a tremendous amount of dune planting, they're not doing anything with, sustainable shrubs and
Right.
things like that. So if anybody's interested going forward to get that crew back together again, when this thing happens, I think the planting on these dunes is very, very important.
Yes,
Right.
I'm very familiar with that.
Right.
We were all a big
Yeah,
part of that.
we would like to get some shrubs planted this spring at the far western side of the dunes, where they're not going to be doing any dune grass planting. And they come in with a machine when they do this machine does the dune
The
grass
Army-
planting really fast.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so, but
super.
we still have a lot of work to do.
There's one other thing, and I'm not in construction, my husband is, and I knew there were a lot of problems with the new facility, the lifeguard station, that building. It was really a mess when they were constructing it, which I think my husband brought to your attention. And I've heard there's lots of leaks because things weren't done right, and I was wondering who was going to be in charge of looking into that and correcting that.
Well, there is some work that is scheduled to be done on that building,
Okay.
and basically, there are concerns with the building that we are addressing. So hopefully it'll be taken care of by the time summer.
I didn't hear
He's
leaks,
out
we
of
have
town.
leaks in the police department, I didn't hear about the lifeguard station.
What kind of leaks?
There's bad leaks in the police department.
Yeah, the construction
I was
wasn't
trying.
really that great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Would anybody else like to come up and speak? Nobody? All right, then I am closing public comment, and the final comments by council. I guess we'll start with Mr. White.
I have no comments this evening.
Mr. Maskell?
I would just like to, again, thank our law enforcement officers for the job that they are doing. And, the events that happened up in New York City are just, astounding. Nobody can believe what happened up there. But, again, thank you very much. And We appreciate your service.
Mr. Katz?
Well, just a real quick update on the municipal building. There was a lot of interest from architects and design firms to build a new municipal building, and I reviewed the proposals today with Frank Little. We've done a sort through those, and we will be interviewing candidates, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, to make a selection of an architect and engineering firm to do the new municipal building. So that's moving ahead. So, you know, hopefully they'll be under construction sometime this summer.
And I really have no final comments, but thank you all for coming. It's really delightful to see such a nice-sized group out there.
In a bad night.
It's nice, and, you know, a nice lousy night like tonight. And please feel free to contact us with questions and come to the meetings in the future. We're here to do the best we can for the town, and we're all working hard to make things happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And, yeah,
I have a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Section 69, just FYI.